Hello, I'm Danielle Mercurio, intuitive astrologist, here to let you know what is happening up in that cosmic sky and how you can make it relatable to your everyday life. So, where are we right now? We are gearing up for a full moon that will be happening in Gemini on November 25th at 5:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we get into what this full moon is all about, let's talk about this new season that we're in. We started Sagittarius. The sun moves every month into a new zodiac sign. That's typically the sign that we identify with when we say our sun sign or our star sign. It's the day that we were born, and so we connect to the sun sign as our true one sign. Of course, there are more layers to our birth chart, and there are more layers to the way that the sun and the moon were positioned, as well as all the other planets when you were born. But for the most part, in a general sense, we talk about our sun sign. In this case, we just entered the sun sign of Sagittarius, where we'll be for a month. And so having the Sagittarius energy in the conscious collective, whether you are a Sagittarian sun or it's in other areas of your chart, or you're just hanging out in Sag with the rest of us, we're all going to be feeling it together. And Sagittarian brings this really wondrous energy, this very happy-go-lucky, let's explore, let's be fascinated, let's find things out, let's look into things a little bit deeper, and let's really understand why we're moving forward with the things that we're doing. We're not about just going along with the flow because we were just told we're supposed to. We need more than that. We need to really identify and align and connect to the things that we believe in. And so we're having this beautiful conscious energy of that right now. And so having this gorgeous, fiery Sagittarian energy, the archer, the truth seeker, the Sagittarian is holding the bow and the arrow, and they are pointing that arrow up to that cosmic sky, pointing that arrow up to seek more, to realize that there is something else, that they should be streaming and moving ahead. And we also have Saturn positioned in Sagittarius right now, where it will be for the next couple of years. And having this pairing is allowing us to see the areas in our life where that we could be more structured, that we could be more responsible, that we really want to take forward, and realizing that we don't need so much of everything, and we can be a little bit more fine-tuned and clear in that space. And so moving into the full moon in Gemini, happening on November 25th. If you're watching from the US, you'll know that it will be happening at the onset of Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is the 26th, and full moons last about 48 hours. The moon moves through each zodiac sign every 2 days. And so when the moon is full, it will be entering into Gemini, and this will be happening at 5:44 p.m., and it will be in Gemini during the course of its full moon-ness. And so when we're having a full moon, which is kind of a big ticket event every month, on the onset of a holiday, you have two choices. You can honor what's happening with this full moon on your own, or you can bring the family into it and have them all be aware of this full moon, what it means, and how it could be something special for all of them. But to backtrack before we even get into how we're going to do our full moon ritual, let's look back to where the moon was in Gemini before. So 6 months ago, we had the new moon in Gemini. And so what happens is the moon, when it hits the new moon in a sign, it takes about 6 months then for it to reach around again until it gets to its full moon in that sign. So 6 months ago, we had the new moon in Gemini, which was happening in the sun sign of Gemini, which was happening during a Mercury retrograde. So that new moon in Gemini was a really raw space, especially for Geminis or air signs. It was a really fragile, delicate time. You can think back to June. Where were you? What were the things that weighed heavy on your mind? What were the things that you were dealing with? What were the things that you were struggling with? What were the moments that you had to let go? Or how were you channeling your independence a little bit more? And how were you freeing yourself from thoughts and beliefs that no longer served you? Those were kind of the two trends. You could either be on the path where you were going really manic in your mind, or you were on the path where you were freeing yourself from your mind. Now that we are back at the full moon in Gemini, It's a time to see, where has that taken you the last 6 months? Where are you now? Where are you now with your thoughts? Where are you now with your self-sabotage? And where are you now with your freedom? Where are you now with the redirection that you took? And so I really want you to take in assessment all of that, because I'm pretty certain that there has been some trends in a positive way. There has been some progress. And even if it doesn't feel like a lot, think back 6 months. Think back to where you are. There's been a little bit of progress. Perhaps there's a new opportunity in your life now. Perhaps there's a new person in your life now. Perhaps there's a new confidence within you. Whatever it may be, there has been some kind of progress, some kind of movement forward, some kind of change, some kind of choice in another direction. And it's very beautiful that this full moon in Gemini is happening in the sun sign of Sagittarius, where we are asking for more freedom, more disconnect from what makes us feel heavy, from what makes us feel like we have to do things a certain way or be logical or fall into the trap of what we're supposed to do, and instead really let ourselves be free from it. We're also coming off of this gorgeous 11/11 new moon that we had just a couple weeks ago. And the new moon that happened in Scorpio was an opportunity in a very intense, deep way to move through the gateway of what hasn't been working for you, what you don't want anymore, the situations, the people, the lifestyle, all of it that was making you suffer, or was making you feel pain, or was making you feel confused or sad, and saying, I've got to let all this go. I got to leave all this behind. I've got to shut that door. And when I shut that door, I look ahead and there's a new door, and I open that up. But some of you haven't opened the door just yet. You're still in the waiting room, and you're kind of pacing around the waiting room and not opening this new door that's been presented to you. And so I want you to know that this is your time to really open the door. This full moon is all about acceleration, as every full moon is. Every full moon is an opportunity to launch, to take things forward, to really bring things to fruition, to completion, to full speed ahead. And so I really want you to open that door and see what you find, and look for the clues, and notice the miracles that have been waiting in this room for you. But you were pacing the waiting room, reading an old issue of People magazine that has nothing to do with anything that's going on now. So I want you to really start to think these next couple days about what it is that you're ready to open up into, what it is that you are ready to shift. You're thinking that I am not good enough, I don't deserve this, who am I to want something more? Everyone else comes first before me. Those don't apply anymore. And the more that you allow them to, the more resistance and pushback you'll feel. The more that you try to control, the more that you try to hold on, the more you think, well, if I just change this, or if I just try to manipulate the situation, then we'll be good, or then we can hold on for another day. That's not how you want to live. You don't want to live in the waiting room. You don't want to live hoping for a chance. You don't want to live just kind of, saying, all right, well, if I can make it through the day, that'll be good. Or if I can get that one precious moment with that guy or that girl, then that will be enough. Because it won't. Because then you'll be chasing the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. But if you just allow yourself to realize that with this full moon, it's about being curious in a way that doesn't serve your own agenda, but being curious in a way that serves something more, that opens up new opportunities, things that you never could have thought of before, things that you never could have conjured up, but then once they come to you, you're like, oh my God, this is so aligned, I had no idea. And that's what I want this full moon to be about. I want this full moon to give you the things that you had no idea were possible until they came to you, and then you were like, oh my God, this was so meant for me. I couldn't have ever imagined this, and yet it is so right for me. So I am going to release that control. I'm going to release that belief that I have to conjure up my life, that I have to think through everything, and instead know that if you just show up and allow yourself to be amazed and allow yourself to be in the surprise, then your curiosity will serve you quite well, and you will receive everything that you've been looking for that you didn't even realize that you wanted. And that's the beauty, and that's the magic of these gorgeous full moons that we have, and these opportunities to ask for more and surrender even deeper. So for this full moon in Gemini that's happening on the 25th, 5:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always like you guys to do a ritual. Full moons is when we tend to burn. So if you still have your 11/11 new moon intentions and what you wrote out, this is a great time to burn it all up, to surrender and say, this is everything I was feeling. This is everything that I left behind. This is everything that I was opening myself up to. This is me opening the door, being ready, being true, being ripe with what's to come. And a lot of you are taking off with that. You're taking that momentum and you're moving forward and you're keeping yourself in that positive momentum. And so burning for your full moon in Gemini is going to exude that curiosity even more. Our Geminis are our Peter Pans. They're our Alice in Wonderlands. They are the ones that are so wondrous and in awe of the whimsicalness of life. Bring that into this. We are in the holiday season where it's all about magic and miracles and believing in something more and bringing in joy. And so as you offer up your full moon intentions, as you get into a nice seat and you think about how ready you are to open the door, how ready you are to be surprised, how ready you are to get a gift from the universe, okay? I want you to think about all of that. And then I want you to burn any intentions that you had made up until this point. And if you haven't made any yet, write down what you think you thought you wanted. Write down what you think you need. Write down what you believe is next. And then surrender it up. And you may find that those things come into fruition, but you may find even more so that something greater, something bigger, something bolder will come to be. The miracles are right around the corner. They are lurking, just waiting for you. But you have to call them in. You have to say that I want help. I want a miracle. I want magic in my life. I want to be dazzled. I want to have it all. And by having it all, I am going to surrender it all. I am going to give it all up because I know in turn I will create space and be able to receive something so beautiful, so wonderful, and I will be carried and I will be supported along the way. And so you want to do this at 5:44 p.m. on the full moon or within a 48-hour window. You can do it on your own. Or you could bring your family into this and your friends during the holidays and tell them about this. Tell them about this idea of what would happen if we conjured up everything we wanted and then we gave it all away and we let it go and we released and we burned, you know? The only thing that I want burning this Thanksgiving is your full moon rituals and not your turkey, okay? That's what I want to see burning. So really get into this mindset that everything is possible. I want you to be curious and look for the signs. And I want you to know that the more you believe, the more you give life a chance. And don't say, just give me one chance. Say, I want to give you the chance to show me the magic. And I'll stop complaining. And I will stop trying to say, when is it my turn? And I will realize that it's already happened. It's just a matter of me opening up into it all. So do that full moon ritual. Do it in the sign with the onset of the sign of Gemini, being in the sun of Sagittarius, having this beautiful, curious energy that can work for you. And don't use it to get you down the rabbit hole where you're getting so in doubt and mistrust and disbelief, and instead in wonder and in awe and full excitement. Okay? So there you have it. Full moon, Gemini, November 25th, 5:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take a look at where you've been the last 6 months. What were things like back in June for that new moon in Gemini, that Mercury retrograde that asked us to challenge what our mind had to say? And now where we are and what has come, what has changed, what has brought into our life, what has been seen differently. And then get yourself into a space where, you know, either taking your new moon intentions or writing down new ones, and then being in such a complete state of trust and being like, all I can do at this moment is surrender and do just that. And with that, you will be amazed. And I want you to relax. I really want you guys to relax after this full moon. I don't want you to get back to work. I want you to just put your feet up and enjoy and do things that are fun for you. Do things that are passionate. Hopefully a lot of you have a long weekend right after this full moon. Use it as a time to just be excited, have fun. And if it means doing work, do work that you enjoy, like cooking or working on your business or playing with your kids or whatever it is that's fun for you. Be in the fun and let loose for just this weekend. Don't think about your responsibilities. Don't think about what could go wrong. Don't think about your debt. Think about how much fun life is. Think about how blessed you are. Think about how much love there is in your life. And it will continue to swirl around you. It will create a beautiful, positive momentum, and you'll start to see miracles. And let me know what those miracles are. You can join me over in the Cosmic Astrology Club on Facebook. It's cosmicastrology.club. Or you can book a reading with me. Go to daniellemercurio.com to figure out how to set up your reading, and we can go from there. I'm also offering a full moon guided meditation that you can do on your own, or it's a great thing to do with your family and friends on the full moon. It's a quick, easy way to tap into the full moon energy, understand what it is that you need to do, burn what you need to, and keep moving forward from there. All the links and everything you need to know is right below. And I will see you again for the new moon in Sagittarius next month. Until then, keep reaching for your dreams and know that everything is possible.